Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Sidelines Unite team call. It's September 17, and I'm Tammy Ray, Regional Vice President with Arbonne, and just so excited to be here tonight. Oh, yay, Diane's here too. This is so fun. I enjoy these calls and get so much out of them and really appreciate the feedback I've been getting lately. So thank you so much for being here. And please, if something's on your mind or heart that you want us to dive into on these calls, these are for you. And so I want you to feel comfortable giving suggestions and things too, because there is no school for network marketing. This is how we learn. We come together and bounce ideas off each other and share what's been working. So this is a sideline call because in Arbonne, we don't compete with each other, we complete each other. And I just appreciate that culture that we have in Arbonne. So tonight's call, I don't know, have any of you ever just, you've been reaching out to people, but you're not getting the response that you anticipated, or maybe you came on pretty strong with Arbonne and now you're wishing you would have said things a little differently, and shoot, now what? How do you salvage, those connections? Because often in Arbonne, we burn through our warm market pretty fast, and then we're like, shoot, now who do I talk to? They've all said no, or they're not answering, or they're not even messaging me back. Has anyone, oh, Allison's nodding her head, Judy, Amy, yeah, okay. So I was thinking a lot about this and actually had a really good conversation with Jonathan Hill, who you're going to hear from tonight. And that's what prompted this training tonight. And so here's the deal. Life is generally hitting people hard, and it's like we have to figure out what their most pressing need is, right? If we can figure out what they're looking for and how to solve whatever problem they have or whatever need they might have, we will be in a great place to position Arbonne. But we can't really position Arbonne until we know what they're looking for, right? Because it reminds me of the girl that talked to me when I went into the store the other day. I walked into, it was kind of like a jewelry and bag store. I was looking for some gifts. And as all of us have experienced, the sales clerk comes up to me and says, oh, what are you shopping for? And I said, oh, a few gifts. And she just launches right into her spiel about what's on sale, and I might be interested in the makeup they're selling. And I'm just thinking that is the last thing I'm going to be looking at, because I don't want their store makeup. I have good makeup. Anyway, she launched into the whole spiel, and had she just asked me a couple questions, we would have, but really, because she made all of these assumptions and just gave me kind of a canned speech, I was repelled. I didn't even want to talk to her anymore. And I know she's just doing her job, but it didn't make me warm up to her, because she just made assumptions and was like blabbing at me all the sales deals, and it didn't meet my needs, because that wasn't what I was looking for. And so think about how we're talking to people. Are we just blabbing out what's on sale? Are we just making assumptions of what we think they need? Or do we really know what's going on with them so that we can find the fit and position Arbonne really well for them? So how do we find out what people are looking for? I boiled it down to the more I was thinking about this, there's a couple different types of people, and there's people, and you can hear it when they're talking. There's people who are just generally dissatisfied, they're hungry, they want a challenge, and they're also willing to do something about their circumstances. Huge. That's a huge point. They're willing to do something to make a change, okay? And then there's another group of people who are basically just whining about their life, but they truly get some sort of payoff from continuing to be a victim. They're not willing to do anything about their circumstances, okay? So those are the people that we're just not gonna get very far with, okay? It's like bless and release, right? So one of the questions that I heard and that I love, and there's a lot of different ways that I kind of ask questions just to see if there's a fit. One of them is, if there were one thing in your life right now that you would want to improve, what would it be? And that's pretty general. A lot of times I'll ask people, oh, what do you do? And they'll tell me, and I'll say, do you love it? because I want to see if there's a discontent there, if there's something, that they're missing, that they're looking for. So that's a great one too, is just whatever they're doing. Do you love it? How long have you worked there? Can you see yourself working there another 20 years? Oh, when they start thinking that, another 20 years, like, no. So there's the little dissatisfaction, discontent piece. And, you could keep asking questions and zone in on that. And because really the success of our business or the lack of success in our business is directly correlated to the quality of questions that we're asking people. I also love the statement, tell me more about that. Oh my goodness, tell me more about that. Just keep them talking, because they're going to lay it out for you eventually if you just become like a master at listening. So find out if there's something you can offer. They may not accept it right then. They may not want it, but our job is to look at everyone and ask inside of our hearts, how can I help this person? How can I serve them? And so I just want to ask Kendall. I love when Kendall gives her 2 cents. So what are some questions that you like to ask people, just to kind of hear where they're at and to get them to open up so that you can find a fit? See if there's a fit even for Arbonne.
Thank you, Tammy. So, I love asking people questions when I am listening. So instead of me coming at it sort of like a cold market, calling somebody cold and saying, hey, how can I fit Arbonne into your life? Which is sometimes what we do. What I like to do is listen to when people post things on Facebook or say things in conversation. So recently, or, so do you ever have when you have mutual friends and somebody says, oh, so-and-so's business really isn't doing that great? And you don't want to call somebody and be like, hey, I heard your business isn't doing that great. And you don't want to say, hey, Susie Q told me your business wasn't doing that great. But you might want to start by approaching somebody and say, hey, I am looking to connect with people in my circle who are high performers, and I consider you one of them. And I would love to network with you about a serious business that is easy to plug into. Would you be open to having coffee with me and learning about the Arbonne opportunity? Or I don't even say the Arbonne opportunity, the Arbonne, business. So I'm using a nugget that I've learned by listening to, mutual friends to approach that person to ask them, even if they don't know it. I'm in discussion with 2 of my friends, one who posted about, hey, does anyone know somebody in Germany? And I was like, what do they want to know people about who are in Germany for? So I messaged, her, hey, what's going on with, why do you want to know that? And I haven't even brought up Arbonne yet, because I'm getting into the discussion, because I want to know what she's looking for first. And then another friend posted about she's looking for used workout equipment. So I messaged her and said, what are you looking for? And she said, well, I have PCOS and I struggle with my weight and my health, and I've got to do something. I'm trying to work with a nutritionist, but nothing's really working. And so now we're in discussion about the 30 days to healthy living. And it's just from really being observant on my Facebook feed or on my Instagram feed. I just recently, I have a relationship with somebody who modeled for me at a makeup event, and then we became Instagram friends. We follow each other and post, and she posted, yeah, I'm thinking about trying Arbonne. And I just signed her and her mom up as a team, because I followed up and asked her, like, well, what does that mean when you say you're looking to try Arbonne? So my advice really would be to listen and observe and make a note of it. So I'm an old school paper calendar kind of girl. And on my little sidebar, I put a note of everyone that like I see and I want to follow up with, and kind of why, and so when you see things, it doesn't just go into the universe of like, oh yeah, what was that I was supposed to do? I actually make a note, and I'll star it, FB, and I'll put my friend's name, and then when I know to go back on their page, I can find the topic that they posted that I know Arbonne can fit in. It's just getting them into the discussion to have them decide that Arbonne can fit. So I guess that's my tip, is just to listen and then plug in and ask them what they're doing.
Beautiful. I love that. That's so exciting. Thank you. As usual, those are fabulous recommendations. It made me think of this woman I met this summer at, just a casual porch party. And she, I'm asking her about what she does, where she lives, just asking general questions. And she was finishing up her nursing degree, and she's getting a degree later in life, like after her kids are grown and stuff. And she's like, oh, it's so much harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm just not sure if this is what I really wanted to do. Ding, 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 discontent, right? And she goes, and what did you say you do, Tammy? I said, oh, as a matter of fact, I've replaced my nursing career and nursing income doing a business called Arbonne, and I work from home and live in a resort town. And she just looked at me and her jaw dropped. She goes, we have to talk. I didn't launch into, 30 days of healthy living, because that isn't what she was asking. Does that make sense? If someone, like Kendall said, is talking about PCOS and, health issues, of course, and that's where we're going to start. So it's just listening. But see, do you know what I mean? If we started talking about losing weight with someone who's not into it, it's like the store clerk coming at you, right? And they're like, oh, and they're repelled and they don't want to hear anything you have to say. So being this master listener, being the person to ask questions without having an agenda, just ask questions to be interested, and curious about who they are, then the discontents will start to arise and come up. Or maybe they won't. Maybe it's going to take several conversations, and that's okay too. So think about how it feels when someone truly cares about you. That's the kind of person that you want to be. If our goal is to have an agenda, if our goal is to chase money, if our goal is to, check off our checklist for the month, we are most likely not going to find long-term success. We succeed when we look for ways to solve people's problems and be of service. The money is the byproduct of how many people we can help. And so developing relationships causes success, not sales. Did you catch that? Developing relationships causes success, not the sales. And this leads me to hearing from Karrie Lyons. And she is just wonderful at developing and cultivating relationships. And I know, is Debbie on too? I don't know if she's on. But anyway, Karrie, are you there? Can you jump in? Do you need me to unmute you? Karrie?
I'm there she is. And then Debbie is here also. Let me unmute her. Can we unmute both of us at the same time?
What is
she should be the 7341, and she was going to.
Okay, she's unmuted. Hi, Debbie.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Glad you're here. So I just wanted you guys to touch on the value of cultivating relationships and what the outcome was between the two of you.
Miss Karrie?
Karrie, do you want to start?
I'm saving my video on. I'm so behind today. Hold on a second. Hello.
Oh, there she is.
It's so weird talking to when there's no picture. Anyways, yes, Debbie and I, we've known each other, going on, I've known her daughter for 20 years, so known her for a long time. So we've always had a relationship, and always, kept bumping into each other, even going back to 2011. We just run into each other at restaurants and say hi. And then we became Facebook friends and would message back and forth. And then I added Debbie to my VIP group that I started. I think that was back in 2014 or so. So she kind of kept seeing that, I had this business and these nutrition products, and I didn't really have a reason necessarily to think there was a need for Debbie. She actually private messaged me that she was having some health issues that were private that her family didn't even know about quite yet, but she had seen my posts and wanted more information. And that just started this whole kind of additional relationship between the two of us, where that need was to me so important because I just wanted to help her. I didn't even think of even for 1 second about the business part. It was just, I want to help Debbie. This is someone I've known for a long time, and she's always been so full of energy, and I could never imagine something health-wise, being wrong with her. So the goal was just to get Debbie back. And in that process, just lots of messages back and forth and inviting her to different things that didn't necessarily end up panning out until I think 2015, maybe. Finally was able to come to a healthy living class and brought her daughter. And I'll let Debbie kind of take it from there.
I want to say, I think it was towards the end of 2014, and you were having a nutrition class, and I had just finally been diagnosed after about 8 months of diagnosis procedures of having fibromyalgia. And you were doing the nutrition class, and through that nutrition class, I just listening to Karrie, I really turned a corner and decided, okay, I'm going to try this 30 days for healthy living. I have to backtrack real quickly though here. Prior to coming over to Karrie's house and listening to her presentation, I had received a message from Karrie, and she wanted me to listen to Tammy's story. I believe that it was on YouTube. Regardless, Tammy's story put me over the edge. I knew that these were health products that I absolutely had to try. And I did. My daughter came along with me. She had just delivered my grandson and was getting ready to go back to work, and she was trying to lose that last probably 10 or 15 pounds. So she also went on to the nutrition plan, worked for her, worked for me. I had this wonderful support of Karrie constantly checking in on me and how was I doing and how was I feeling. And I knew at that point that this was making such a difference in my life that I really needed to continue on with this. It took about a year, and up until that point, I hadn't even tried any of the skincare line. But in a year's time, I said to Karrie, I want to be part of this. This has absolutely changed my day-to-day life, and I want to become a consultant. Miss Karrie, can you jump in from there?
That's beautiful. So Debbie, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So when you were feeling all of your symptoms of fibromyalgia, what if Karrie had come to you and asked about the business and, I really want you to take a look at this business? Would you have even given it the time of day?
Absolutely not. No, that was the furthest thing from my mind. No, I was just trying to, I don't want to sound dramatic, survive, but it really was a case of that because my life had become something I didn't recognize anymore. And it all started with little tidbits of seeing what was going on and how the health of other people had changed. And no, if she would have approached me about the business or did I want to host an event, no, I would have paid absolutely no attention whatsoever. None.
Are you glad she cultivated the relationship and was just there for you as you, grew into Arbonne?
Absolutely. Without a doubt, because when I reached out to Karrie the very first time, she had no idea what I wanted to talk to her about. And we spoke for probably close to an hour on the phone as I was going through this diagnosis process. And it was so genuine. I knew Karrie, and I knew that there was genuine concern. And then the guidance that she's given me throughout has been absolutely amazing. I've always known that Karrie's in my back pocket, and now there's other people there too. But if I've had a question with regards to the business, or even a health issue for that matter, and it was 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 on a Sunday, I shoot her a text and the girl answers me. She's right there. It makes such a huge difference to have all that support, both personally and in the business end of it.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And
I hope I babble on. I have a tendency to do that because I get really emotional about all of this, just coming from my standpoint of where I was at and where I am now is so huge.
And if everyone didn't know, Debbie Dodge is an area manager, probably soon to be executive area. That's kind of what I'm sensing. Things are lighting up with your team, Debbie. So exciting and thrilling. And here you are.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you so much for sharing. That just illustrated the point so perfectly, is that we just need to meet people right where they are. And so often, and again, who is having that internal battle of, who am I to ask if there's any discontents, or if, what they would like to improve in their life, or what are they going to think of me, or who, how arrogant am I to think that there's something I can help solve in their life? What internal dialogue is going on in your mind that's keeping you from asking someone some questions? You know what I mean? So really look at that, because that's really our job, is just to ask questions and to get to know people and be curious and just see if there's something that we can do to serve them in a bigger way. Because, there's so many people struggling with their health. They're stressed out about their jobs, working jobs they hate. They're burned out. They're wondering how they're going to pay for their kids' education. And we have the best opportunity for people to generate wealth alongside what they're already doing. Because if you think about it, even just helping someone earn an additional $2,000 to $3,000 a month, did you know that it would take a $500,000 investment in real estate or equity to generate a $2,000 to $3,000 a month passive income? You guys, this is huge, huge what we have available to offer to people. We have the best opportunity on the planet. So I want to ask you, what's the story that you're holding in your head about the products or opportunity that Arbonne can offer? Maybe you think you have to tell a story about getting rich. Well, not only do you not have to do that, hype will not serve you, it will only hurt you. So again, we just simply want to find out what people want, what they're looking for, what their discontents are, because we know that their life can be completely changed, transformed inside and out. Just like Debbie said, you could hear it in her voice, for everything beautiful, because of this gift that we have to put on the table for people. So, and really, what's the best part about residual income? It's that you can choose to have the people that mean most to you be the priority in your life. That to me is the gift and blessing of residual income. So here's the deal. We often just give up too soon, when really what we have is something that could create a legacy income. I mean, think about the tragic thing that happened. Carol Kirkin, beautiful Carol Kirkin, lost her life, but her business was willed to her daughter. Her daughter just became a regional vice president because of her mother building this business over so many years. And now her daughter is being blessed with this legacy income. You guys, think about that. Think about what you're doing today can make such a huge difference, and it's going to go on and on and on. So it's so worth it. But again, we just give up too soon. We all go through stuff in life that beats us up. The more we can connect with people about our struggles on a human level, the better our relationships will be, and therefore the better our business will be. When we put people ahead of our paycheck and care about them and do our best to serve, that is what will set us apart in Arbonne and create loyal customers and business partners. And it will set us apart on social media. It will set us apart from, everyone else kind of badgering people for their time and energy. What's going to catch their attention is a genuine heart. And I just want, John, let's see here. Where'd you go, John? Here, I can unmute you. I'd love for you to share a little bit about your experience with making your list and reaching out, and how did that go?
Yeah, so
And I appreciate you being honest.
yeah, no problem. So pretty much first time I heard about Arbonne, it was from Eli. Eli gave me a call, and he was just asking me, because I've always been into health and fitness. It's just been a part of my life since I was probably 5 years old. And he called me and asked, is there anybody that is, talking to you about health and wellness, or is it just you, or is there any companies that you're with or anything? And I was like, no, because I don't really believe in any of their missions or anything like that. And he's like, well, I think I have something that you would really love. And I was like, okay, well, let me hear. And so I talked to Tammy. They were on a walk, and they gave me a call, and I talked to Tammy and Eli for about 30 minutes. And I fell in love, signed up the next week. But I think I was too blinded by, I loved the whole idea of Arbonne, what it was all stood about and everything, but I was very, very blinded by the income and blinded by the Mercedes-Benz and all of that. And so what I did was I wrote out a little script, and I sent it, the exact same thing, copy and pasted it, to 87 people. And I was like, I'm just going to shoot this message out to as many people as I can, and we'll see what happens. The more people you message, the more people are probably going to message back. And let me see. I can read it to you guys, what I sent.
Yes, we want to know.
Sorry, give me 1 second. So I said, and this was to my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, mom, dad, sister, all of my friends, people I went to college with. And so I said, hi, so the company is called Arbonne. Or no, that's not it. I said, hello, I'm a part of a long-standing, as you can see, I started reading a different one because I did this so much. I said, hello, I'm a part of a long-standing health and wellness supplement hair skin company called Arbonne. It's truly an amazing company, from GMO-free to vegan to soy-free, no animal testing, the most botanical patents in the world, and so much more. If you like, I could invite you to our Facebook group this weekend, and you can learn all about it. And that was when Tammy had set up a little summer group for us. And can I flip my camera around? Yeah, I can. I can show you guys this. So anybody that has a check next to them is somebody that answered, and pretty much nobody answered. This whole page doesn't have a single answer. This one has about 7, and then the first page has probably 11 people. So it really didn't work out, and I was getting so confused. I'm like, why is nobody answering? Not even a reply. And I was so confused. And a couple weeks ago, I posted a post, or actually, okay, I'll start here. I had a friend, and I kept calling him and asking him. I knew he was into network marketing. I figured he would want to join the business. And he's like, bro, just stop where you're going with this. He's like, I don't want to join another network marketing business. I know what it's all about. I don't really care. I don't have time for it. And I was just so blown back by that response. I was like, oh, geez, sorry. I was like, I wonder if I'm making everybody mad like this. And a couple weeks later, I had posted on Facebook If you are looking for something that's quick and easy, super healthy, and just something that you can grab and go, and you don't have to have a lot of time. If it's for busy people, I have something that would be awesome for all of you. And he texted me the next day and was like, hey, man, you never told me it was that. You just told me it was a network marketing business. That's exactly what I'm looking for, something that's quick and easy, because I don't have time to cook, because he owns his own real estate business. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I did this completely wrong. And so like a week ago, me and Tammy had a call for almost 2 hours and talked, and it completely changed everything. She told me, we were just discussing on how I could kind of build back the relationship with the older, like the people that I had already messaged. And I messaged a couple of them, and I was just said that I was like, I was really excited about this business, and I'm sorry for coming off as a salesman to you. I wasn't meaning to you. I was just trying to. I was honest with them too. I was like, I was so blinded by all the money I can make and everything, but I truly am committed to health, and I really do love it. And if you guys just want to talk, we can talk. I won't bug you about Arbonne until you guys are ready to be bugged. And they all responded, all 5 of them that I texted. So they were like, that's okay. We understand. We all have been blinded too. So that's just kind of my story on how I messed up in the beginning, but it's very easy to fix. I've only messaged 5 people back that I previously had, but all 5 of them responded, and I'm starting to build a relationship with them rather than trying to be a salesman towards them, which is working out a lot better.
Oh, Jonathan, thank you so much for sharing. Who can relate to what Jonathan just shared? Yes, I can too. So thank you for being open and honest. And
no problem.
this call is for you right here. I can't wait for you to hear this last part. So, oh my goodness. Again, thank you, Jonathan. Here's the deal. I truly hold in my head that everyone could benefit from hearing about Arbonne, okay? I really do, because everyone is looking to feel better, to sleep better, to have more energy, to, have an additional $2,000 a month. Nobody's going to say no to that. You know what I mean? So if we have something that could offer all of these things and even offer more significance to their life, if there's someone who already has a great income, maybe they're just searching for significance, for something, that's going to make a difference. So if we have whatever everyone wants, the challenge is in the moment when we offer the solution to their problem, they're not necessarily listening. And this could be exactly, what happened to Jonathan. The noise of their own life is so loud. And just like Debbie shared, they simply cannot connect to what we are offering. We show up and we offer a way to look better and feel better and live longer with more income, and they're not thinking about that. We come out of the gate so strong because we're so excited. And yet, what's on their mind is going to work tomorrow, and they're worried about what they're going to make for dinner, and they're thinking about job stress, and they're thinking about the fact that their kids making D's in school, or maybe, shipping kids between an ex-spouse and trying to make that all work. They're not thinking beautiful, ambitious, and visionary thoughts. And so in the moment that we're talking to them, they just don't hear it and they don't get it. Of course, they don't say that. They don't say, you know what, Jonathan, this really sounds fascinating, and what you're offering, I really want. But the problem is, right now, I'm so focused on what I'm doing, I can't even process a logical response to your invitation. They don't say that, right? What they say is, I don't have any time. I don't have any money. I don't like to sell things to my friends. I don't want to do one of those things. That's what they say, but they don't really mean it. What they mean is, look, you just caught me off guard because you thought it was a good time to offer your products or opportunity, but really it's not a good time for me. And in this very moment, it's not a good time for them to hear what we have to offer. So I want to teach you this tonight. I want you to hear this. This is why I wanted to do this call, is because the best people we could ever talk to are the very people who have told us no. Did you hear that? The best people we can talk to are those who've already told us no. They already know what we have, and they already know what we do. And if we treat them honorably, respecting where they are in that moment, respecting the fact that we might not have caught them at a good time, and simply ask them if we can follow up with them at another time when it's better for them, and then keep asking, say, hey, do you mind if I check back with you in 2 to 3 months? I totally understand what you're going through, and I just want you to know I respect that. I respect that this isn't for you right now, but would it be okay if I just kept you in the loop and maybe check back with you in a couple months? And nobody has ever told me no to that. You know what I mean? And just let people be. Let people know that you respect that they know what's best for their life in that moment. And I love the phrase, "You've been on my heart." You've been on my heart. I couldn't help but reach back and ask again, because that creates this safe place where people trust you. And I just want to share a quick story of my friend Michael. He's someone that I truly admire. He is like the top of my chicken list. Like, I get heart palpitations when I think about calling him, because he's just extraordinary. I mean, I get teared up. He's just an amazing human being. And he does all this charity work. He's a hard worker. He's just an amazing person. I met with him a year ago. I went through the Is Arbonne for You? And he was like, Tammy, I would do really well at this if I decided. I'm like, I know, Michael. That's why I wanted to talk to you. He's like, oh, it's just not the right time, and I'm too busy, and this and this. He goes, but I do see your Facebook post, Tammy, and it's good to be Tammy Ray going out on the boat on a Tuesday or whatever. I'm like, well, and I know that's the kind of life you want too, Michael. It's here for you. Anyway, I've kept in touch. I invited him to Karrie's card presentation. He couldn't come that day. I just met with him last week for lunch and, just asked about his life, asked tons of questions so I could understand the discontents, and there were some. And I put it on the table again, and he agreed. He's like, you know what? I will come to a healthy happy hour. I will be a product user. He goes, I don't know if the business is something. That's okay. All I wanted was to just get the next thing scheduled. You know what I mean? Like, we'll just keep trickling. And he knows I care about him. And I'm going to help him with some of his charities. So of course he's going to come to something that I'm doing. So you know what I mean? Like, we're creating this beautiful relationship, and I believe with all my heart he will be in this business. But this is what it's about, is just creating this wonderful relationship and giving Arbonne such an amazing reputation, because we're Arbonne, right? We're the face of Arbonne. So we want to give Arbonne a great reputation by being people of integrity and letting people be where they're at in their life. So what human beings really want is they want to be known. They want to be accepted just for where they are and who they are, right? They want to be understood. They want to be heard. They want to be respected. They want to be connected with. And technology doesn't do any of that. We do with our hearts. We connect with people with our hearts, with who we are, by just allowing people to be where they're at in their life and respecting and honoring them. We are difference makers. We're neighborhood changers, and we honor people right where they're at in their life in that moment. And as Diane Soulier says, when people say no to us, they're worth circling back to offer this gift again. So just to reiterate, the best people we could ever talk to are the people who have told us no. And so that's my call to action for this week, is to really consider some of those people who give you goosebumps when you think about them, people who really are on your heart. And maybe you've said all the wrong things. You've done it all wrong. I really want you to go back and just be honest with them and admit it. Just say what Jonathan said. You know what? I was so excited. I feel like I said everything wrong, but would you give me another chance just to, let you see this for what it is, because I just can't help but think that this is going to be a blessing on your life. You've been on my heart, and I would just love it if we could connect again. And if this isn't for you, I totally respect and honor that too, and I'll never bring it up again, promise. So just let people know that they've been on your heart. So what are your thoughts about this? Was that insightful? Was that helpful for you? Does anyone have any questions or comments? I saw Judy DiGiorgio nodding. Oh, good. Let's see. Susan says, listening more, speaking less, building a relationship first, treating them honorably. You've been on my heart, asking questions, especially those who have said no before. Thank you for all the great tips. That's great. Thank you, Susan. It's true.
Hey, Tammy.
Hey, Eli.
I just wanted to say I liked what Jonathan said about, like, if you approach someone the wrong way the first time, just going back and saying, like, hey, what are you thinking about, like, the first way I approached you, and then, like, correcting it and doing it the right way. Because most people will respect that.
Absolutely. And as Richard Blissbrook says, it's not that people are opposed to our products. It's not that people are opposed to our opportunity. People are opposed to the approach. Okay, so hold that image of the sales clerk coming at you. We don't want to be that, okay? We want to be the person who's listening to understand, who's curious, who wants to find the connection and the common ground, and then, we can have a conversation and dialogue with people and really find out what it is that they're looking for. Thank you, Eli. That's perfect. Well, love you all so much. Thank you for being on tonight. I hope that was helpful for you. I know it was for me. Every call that we do is growing me too. That's often why I do these calls, is just so that I can learn more. So thank you for being part of this evening. And I just challenge you to go back to your list and really think about who you're going to connect with this week, and look specifically for people who have already said no, who you feel like you goofed up with, but they're still there. They're still on your heart. They're still in your mind. So go back to them and just let them know, because people want to be connected with. They want to feel valued and understood. They want to know that they've been on your mind. That's such a powerful thing to say. So are you good with that? Who's going to do it? Connect with someone who's already told you no, and I can't wait to hear what's going to happen. Please post how it goes, okay? And I will too. And let's keep each other accountable. All right, well, love you guys. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.